All right. Hello there, Allen Youth. This is John here for you. I'm going to try and walk you through how to set up the 9th floor today. So I'm going to take some clips. We're going to get it set up just like normal so that y'all know how to do it when I'm gone. So first of all, let's get to it. First of all, you'll notice the lights are already on, but what we need to do is on this wall here, this light, oh, now it's dark all of a sudden. We turn on, for small groups, we turn on the far right one. Then these two also light it up a little bit more. You notice those lights turn on, and then these lights are the ones on the stage lights. So if you turn this all the way on, it'll turn those lights on a little bit, those little light ones. Oh, let me get my finger in, those light ones. Usually what I'll do is I'll keep this on halfway, keep it in the middle, and then when we go to worship, I'll click all of these off, make it nice and moody in here, have just the little lights on. So that's what I usually do for worship. And then when I come on to speak at the end, I just turn the full right back on. Good to teach us and get us going. What you need to do to get set up is, first of all, of course, you need the instruments. So for tonight, we have just the guitar and the keys. We got no cajon right now, but if you did, you would just bring it. But I'll walk us through how to get those set up. First thing you'll notice is that the keyboard is usually kind of moved over a little bit for Kids Club. We're going to move the keyboard over, and then we're going to plug it in and get all the cords set up for everything else. So I'm going to do that now. All right, now you'll notice the keyboard is moved over a little bit. Why we put it to the side is because we're going to pull this guy down. And sometimes it takes a second. So the screen should be down. You got the keys there so that the person is not standing in the way. Then we can just turn on the projector right here. Just turn on the power. Boom, good to go. Now, one thing that we really need to know is behind this door, you click that open, you want both of these on. This is for the speaker, to keep the speaker power, and this guy powers this bad boy so that you can have power for the keys. Now you need all of your special cables. Oh, these bad boys. And these guys you'll kind of clean up at the end. The blue box is for the guitar. The green box is for the keyboard. So we'll put the keyboard there. You should find this cord. It's the power cord for the keyboard. Got a pedal for the keyboard. Then you're gonna find these two kind of different colored cables. There should be two of them. Those will both be for the keyboard. And then once you get to this, there's a whole bunch of things that I'll plug into the box back there. But before we do that, we'll set up the keyboard. So let me do that real quick. All right, now the keyboard is all set up. What we have is the power cord. It is plugged into the far right where it says 12 volt. You notice these two cables, the ones I mentioned, are a little bit different. There's a left and there's a right. You're gonna follow those cords, and then you're gonna look for on the box where it says input. Left input, right input. So you plug those bad boys in, plug them in up here. Last thing is the sustain pedal. It goes into sustain and down low. Now what we're gonna do is do the rest of the cables. So we have one of these cables, little L shape, different type of prong for the guitar box, and then this bad boy that plugs in the box to the speaker back there, that huge box. We'll do that in a second. We got one for a mic, because for today, we only have one singer, so we need that. And then you need two cables for the keyboard. Notice that the keyboard cable has keyboard, and the mic one also has its own SM58 number on it, so you can use those. Doesn't have to be, you don't have to follow all the labels. So like for notice, the guitar one doesn't have a label. There's not one that has a guitar label. Today we don't have a second singer, so I just pulled the top one that's to mic 2, and we won't need the rest of these for today. So you can put those up. What we're gonna do is plug all of these cables into this box. But what we do for small groups is we don't follow the labels here that they use for Kids Club. The reason why we do that is because we have a different scene on the soundboard. I do leave a handy dandy little cheat sheet here that I use for small groups, and those are the numbers that I'll plug them into. So I'm gonna do that in a second. Only other thing to note is that if you have somebody who's using a extra guitar pedal and they need to plug it in, you'll need to get an extension cord. I take mine from the check-in desk here on the Kids Club 9th floor. And you would then plug in an extension cord over there and plug them both in. So now what we're gonna do is plug the guitar and all these cables up, and let's do that real quick. All right, now we're all set up. You'll notice that we have a lot of different cables on the floor. That's okay. Guitar is out. You notice we have a mic stand, but we have no mic. We'll find that in a second. But first thing I want to do is just show you how we did this. We took the cheat sheet and we made sure all the numbers were plugged in. We didn't follow the listings they have there. And we make sure that the box, because make sure you know the box has the prongs here go inside on the side that needs that. And then the input, you just go boom, input, and check there. While you're standing here, might as well turn on the projector here for the main projector. And then you can go ahead and put these cables away. Won't need these for the rest of the day. If there's no mic stand or music stand, they'll usually be stored in here. As you'll see, there's kind of some stands back there. So we close that. And then we come over to the tech booth. Now, when we get to the tech booth, first thing we're gonna do is we need to be able to see. So we turn on this light and we have a lot going on. But before I get started there is a shelf that has remotes. This remote, if I press the down button, it's gonna start having that screen come down. So that screen's gonna come down. While that screen's coming down, there's also a remote for the display screen. The display screen won't show the chords, it'll just show the lyrics, but that is something that you can be aware of, is you might want to turn this on for the students if it's not on already. Let's check real quick. It's not, so turn this bad boy on. Should turn it on, boom. So we turn that on, and then when we come back over in the tech booth, what we'll see is that there is a label called microphones. So when we pull this up, put that remote away. The wireless mic I usually use for announcements, so it's the wireless one. The gray one has its own little switch, so you want to make sure if you're using this that it's turned on. Usually this one is used for mic 2, just because apparently it's not as sound quality, but for those who know me know I don't notice that all. So we usually use the SM58 one for mic 1. So we take this mic, we bring it on over, and then we'll hook it up and everything will be set up on the stage. All right, so mind that. So we got mic, we got guitar. In the guitar case, I have the capo, pick, and whatnot if they need. We got projector on, screens down, and we got the display screen on. The last thing we need, now that we got all that stuff set up, is we actually need the power. So in order to turn everything on, you're gonna get down low, and you'll notice all of these guys up here give us all, they have all these like labels on them. Basically, you're just gonna go down the line right to left and just turn them all on. So then I go, it's gonna start turning on the wireless mic stuff, the soundboard, the desktop. Boom, desktop's on. But for the iMac, you need to physically turn it on back here. So we turn that guy on. Then when we come to the sound booth, let me make sure everything's muted. What we're gonna do is you'll notice that the sound booth says Kids Club right here as the scene. What we're gonna do is change this to Island Youth. So we're gonna click Scenes. We are going to then click one of these, and we're gonna scroll down. How you scroll is this little knob here. So I'm gonna scroll down to IY. I kind of have it hidden so that nobody changes it. And then you're gonna press Recall. And when you press Recall Scene, IY, press Continue. And then it's gonna set up everything that we need. So we're gonna keep everything muted just in case anything goes wrong over there while we check out the plugs. But we'll notice that these do not correspond to what we wanted. We'll check that in a second. What I do is I go to processing just so I can see if anything's wrong. And then this is booted up now. We log into Volunteer, which doesn't have a password. So it should boot up right away, getting us set up. And you'll notice that the screens should also light up. If the screen is off a little bit, I'll take the remote and lower it a little bit just to keep it there, handy dandy. Boom, perfect screen. Not sure why the left one's not working right now. We'll get there in a second. But let me now show you why we plugged in all of the things where we plugged in. So if we come over to our little cheat sheet, we'll notice that what I've done is I've plugged in cords into ones that have lights. Now, I've been told that this doesn't matter. However, when I've tried to follow things where like it doesn't have the light, I found that it does matter. So all respect to those who say it doesn't matter. I've found that it's just easier if I go with ones that do have lights. So the ones that have lights are the ones that I tend to use for small groups, which you'll notice are pretty much all of these numbers. If I had 2 acoustics, I would use the 14. Mic 2 would go into 13, and that pretty much uses all the ones that have lights. So that's kind of been my method of why I chose these different ones. So I take my handy cheat sheet and I bring this with me over to the tech booth just so I can remember. And you'll notice when we come over here that what is stored is most of those channels. So we have 9 and 10. Notice it says SM58 and mic 2. No. Our cheat sheet shows its keys. So those are already pulled up because it's recalled. Channel 5 is already pulled up because it's recalled. 13 is for mic 2, but we won't need that one. We'll use mic 1. And then we have the wireless mic. So these are the main stations that we'll use tonight. We'll use wireless as I talk into it, which if I take the wireless mic right now, I turn it on the bottom, which if it does run out of batteries, there should be boxes of batteries down there that say used and unused. So if I turn it on, I talk into it. I'm talking into it. Now you'll notice there's a green button there. So that means that it's working. If I unmute it, we should hear anything, but that's okay. What we do for sound check to actually check all the sounds, that's since all the students are here. If you want to, you can go and kind of unmute, go and check if it works, but this system usually works all pretty good. So we'll need those. And then the far right one does say Mac. We do use that for Mac. So right now, for now, I'm going to leave everything muted. Everything should be good and leave it as it is. What we're going to do is we're going to come to our computer here. And now we're going to open up ProPresenter. ProPresenter is the main thing we're going to use today. I don't know why it's right clicking when I want to left click. Okay, that's weird. Don't mind that. And why is it right clicking every time? That's really weird. Okay, I'm going to fix this mouse problem. All right, so back here, the mouse problem was apparently because the microphone was on the keyboard for some reason. So the keyboard, bring it here. The lights, I don't use it all for small groups. You can just leave that off to the side. Some students like to play with it. No need. The mood lights, if I was turning off the front right now, work just fine, in my opinion. So when we boot up ProPresenter, because we're on the volunteer, it's going to have just this information. You can close that. You can notice that it has us currently on, so you can turn that off. It should turn it off over there. But when I turn it back on, you can go to the songs and you can press it and see, oh, it works. Now, the reason why this left one's probably not working is because it's been so long since it was turned on before, since it got moved. So it just put itself on standby. So we double check that that's working. We also can double check that the display screen is working. So the screen itself is working. Boom, display screen is working. We're Gucci. We are all doing well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure that we have the songs that we need for today and the announcements for today. And so we have different songs here, and then we have different events. Now, what I'm gonna do is clear out ones that we've already done. So we already did the thank you brunch, we already did the hike. Baptism, I think they already had the last day to sign up, but I'll probably leave it up, let them sign up today, and summer camp, and then our curriculum radical. So can ask somebody, usually I ask Josh to come back here and click these after the songs. And then we need to make sure that the songs are in. You notice I also have two other things here. Earth from Space is just a background to have that if people look at the screen because they're bored, they can look at. You can change that. I've also done lava lamps, Also done just walking through a forest. Just something that's on before countdown. 5-minute countdown. I just found this one online. You also can download your own 5-minute countdown or whatever else you want. I change it sometimes for the season, for like Christmas. And then the songs. Now, the thing is, because this is the volunteer one, it is not hooked up to the Google Drive. And so these songs are all songs that we've done before. And so what you'll do is look at this small group chat and then make sure that you have them all. What I'll do is, if we don't have a song that's on here, I'll use my laptop, pull it up, and airdrop a file in and make sure that we have all the files we need. And so once you have your 3 songs for the night in, you got your announcements, you got your just thing to talk about the passage, you can just leave it there. Thing is, it does keep all the things that you download. So if I come here and I look to downloads, I do kind of want a second radical. So I want to, right after the songs today, I want to talk about the passage. So I'll move it at the front, then do announcements, and then just leave it on there as I pray us out. And so with that being said, that should be everything we need. If you have any problems, sometimes what you might want to do is close out ProPresenter. So do that, you turn it off, save it, close it, and then restart it. That'll help you sometimes if there's some little errors. I can close this out. Thing is, also Spotify does not work down here. For some reason, the actual Spotify app does not work. So what I do is I go to open Spotify just on the web player. It's currently logged into my email account, not Pro. And then usually I'll just pick either Darren's Revival playlist or just the one that Malachi put together, Island ECC. There's also Jared's one there downloaded. Just press play here. It's a little funky. Sometimes it doesn't work right away. This one seemingly is. And then you'll notice a green light here on Mac. So you can just unmute, and now it's playing it. Don't know if you can hear that. And then I'll just leave this muted and just keep it going throughout the whole rehearsal and everything. There's no in-ears or anything to mix things up to get anyone confused. So I got Spotify running. It's on repeat. It's just going to keep running, and I'll turn that back on once everybody's here. We'll turn on ProPresenter once again. We get that up. Close this. Boom. We got our songs. I haven't uploaded these ones yet to make sure they're the ones for tonight. But once they're there, you're good to go. You just turn on this bad boy and you're good to worship. And that is set up for the 9th floor. So that's all you need to know. And then at the end of the night, you tear it all down. So I know that's a lot. Take it piece by piece, and eventually you'll know what to do and get used to it. It'll just be in rhythm. And then once the students get here for rehearsal, just make sure all the sound is working, and then use the sound booth as normal. And at the end of the day, close it all down. Thanks for listening. Also, bringing down any games you want. I probably won't run through any of that. Only thing to note, actually, I guess I can note that real quick here, is that if you want to hook up the switches, that is the only thing that you need to know. I take this TV around here on the corner, unplug it if it's plugged in, bring it around and plug it in right here, and then you can plug in the switch right there if you want the switch. So I hope Friday Night Small Groups continues and is amazing. It is my favorite part of the job. And so for anybody who's made it this far, love you, miss you. Have a great Friday.